Hey everybody, guess what? This week we have a sponsor.
Sponsor!
Today's episode is brought to you by Kinetic Living.
Yes.
If you didn't know, our good friend Dr. Kara has recently opened her new chiropractic studio in Edmonton.
Yes, but it's not just chiropractic.
It's not just chiropractic. There will be massage
And yoga.
Acupuncture,
and just general good feelings.
Yeah, basically if you need a holistic approach to your health, you should check her out, Kinetic
She's
Living.
amazing.
And as a sponsorship, she gave us treats.
Coffee treats.
Kuma Coffee.
Yes, from Seattle, Washington.
And But First Coffee, caffeinated jelly beans.
Gummy bears.
Gummy bears. They're like jelly beans. Bam. Welcome back to another edition of The Journey of Coffee. My name is Chris Faulkner.
I'm Jamie Clausen.
And this is
The Journey of Coffee and Science Time.
It's Science Time. That's right, we're back with another inspiring edition of Chris and Jamie are scientists, but not real scientists.
Yes.
PhDs,
In life.
pretty habitual drinkers. Pretty habitual drinkers
Of coffee.
of coffee. So the cool thing is, a couple years ago I started doing this just as a change of pace, because I know that you don't do a lot of dairy.
I don't do a lot of dairy.
And so that means if you're gonna have a latte or something like that, you're gonna be doing it with oat milk, with almond milk, with soy milk. But again, that's an experience in itself. But you know what's cool? If we take your basic drip coffee, however you wanna make this coffee, if you make it in a percolator, if you make it in a French press, if you make it at work and they have that.
You could even make it in a Keurig or an espresso.
You could make it in Keurig espresso. What we're gonna do is use a bit of gastronomy and take xanthan gum, which is a common thickener in many agents and it's totally fine for you. And we are going to combine xanthan gum with coffee in the Vitamix and whip it. And then the xanthan gum should actually start to basically attach itself to the molecules and provide a latte-like mouthfeel without any dairy.
I'm very intrigued.
So the science, a latte but not a latte. Should we try it?
We should try it. I was trying to think of something that would go well with like a fake latte. A fate.
Hey girls, it's time for some lattes.
Some lattes.
Some fates?
Some fake lattes.
Some faux fautes.
Fautes.
Fautes? Fautes. All right.
Okay, what do we do?
So we take this and we could actually measure that out.
All the scales today. Again, the importance of scales.
The
You should
importance
check out
of
that
scales. So with xanthan gum, you want a very small amount, probably a gram per liter is what they say for this faux latte. And so we've made some coffee here, Chemex Detour brand coffee, some Bottleneck. And so if we pour this into that, look,
video.
we end up with 460 grams of coffee, which really at the end of the day is a great amount of coffee for two people.
It is.
And then we take a handy dandy palm scale.
Tiny scale.
The tiny scale, again, if you have something, you can obviously take tiny measurements. But we are gonna go for roughly, if it's a gram per liter, and that was 460 grams, we're gonna be about 0.046.
So math time with Chris and Jamie.
There you go. So you're gonna take this, and with xanthan gum, you wanna make sure that you sort of sprinkle it all over because it can clump. And if you're wondering what you're gonna do with xanthan gum, you can put it in your dressings.
Yes, I just learned that. It keeps the garlic from sinking to the bottom and the oil from separating.
Bam. Okay.
Oh man.
And as you can see, you're left with this nice, colorful, very hot
looks thick.
Latte style. Look at that. It has,
It looks thick.
yeah, it's thickened.
Like tiny little bubbles, almost like nitro. Oh, that's so strange.
And you end up with coffee, pure coffee flavor,
Yeah.
not diluted, but doesn't have that really crisp, like
Yeah.
clean coffee flavor.
That is really fascinating.
Right? It's a nice change from like drinking coffee. You get a little bit of that thickness, and I'm sure you could play around with how much xanthan gum you use for coffee. But it really gives you this like,
Yeah, so as somebody who doesn't ever drink regular milk lattes, how would you feel the comparison is? Because I feel like a lot of the non-dairy alternatives it's closer to this mouthfeel, I think.
yeah.
Like it's a little bit more, I assume that almond milk has something like xanthan gum in it just to make it more thick, I guess.
Well, I think that it's definitely not going to replace a latte, right? It's
No.
not going to give you that creamy, the fattiness. The interesting thing is, I think if you actually, because xanthan gum is so good at binding, even if
Yeah.
you used a little bit of cream or a little bit of sugar,
Yeah.
so if you took something that normally binds quite well, like fat and sugar when you're making,
Yeah.
you could add a little bit to that and whip it in and probably sort of magnify that effect.
Right.
Because this is really just a thickened coffee now. So you get a thicker feel, it hangs in your mouth. I think it coats your mouth just a little bit.
Yeah.
But then if you put some dairy in it, which is maybe what we'll do for like a second video where
Yeah.
we'll start trying to add some things, you end up with this, even the way it hangs in the glass.
Yeah. I wonder what it would be like in a cold brew, for example.
Yeah.
Whether it would start to feel a little bit like nitro. I wonder who figured this out.
Yeah. Science time
Science time.
with Chris and Jamie.
Yeah. Successful science time.
Not a latte,
Faux latte.
faux latte.
Fate.
Fate. Time to get fatty. No, that didn't work.
No.
Anyways, thanks for watching.
See you next time.